Hello all, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm Alan, this is Alan Reacts, and what do I do in my videos? Quick intro. So, songs that I've known and grew up with, I'll go back to them. I am reacting, but I'm kind of looking at them in the more mature sense. Songs that I don't know, it's a first reaction, then I get new bands that I've never heard of, which you guys put a lot to me. You know, I'd start to say now maybe 40% of the channel I've not heard before. No, 20%. Whereas other times I'm going over songs from my past. So this is Manfred Mann's Earth Band from 1976. A hit in the UK, a song I know, I was 11. I kind of remember it growing up, sort of that transitioning from when I was 11 through. This was always around. A summer song, I think, or a driving car song, but let's look at it. I've done a little digging around where it comes from, and we're going to talk about that. So let's get into it without much further ado. Let's go. Great opening synthesizer, but that last edge of it, why am I thinking of The Warriors, the movie? Do you know that scene where it opens and they're on the track, on the tubes, and they're going into the Troubles to the big meet with Cyrus? Great movie. But it feels that way. Obviously, I know it's not, but it's going to change. But just opening lines of songs can take you all over. Opening sections of song can take you everywhere, and that one took me there, and I've never thought that before. So let's pull it back and start again, and we'll get into it, guys. It's a 7-minute song, so you know.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a madman drums, bubbles in your
It's got that progressive feel. This was written by Bruce Springsteen, 1973, on his debut album. This appears on their debut album, 1976. They had a hit. But there's one line in the song that changes, for me, the song itself. So you could argue this is a cover, but I don't think so, not in its truest sense, because they've changed the line in the song, and you've already heard it. Let's carry on, we'll come back to that.
in the summer with the teenage diplomat. In the dumps with the months as the adolescent bumps his way into his hat. With a boulder on my shoulder, feeling kinda older, I trip the merry-go-round. With its very unpleasing sneezing and wheezing, the calliope crashed to the ground. She was blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
Revved up like a deuce. That's the line that's changed. Springsteen's original was cut loose like a deuce. So for me, when you listen to Springsteen's original, it's definitely a rock, sort of acoustic-y, slower tempoed song. And the way Springsteen writes, and I'm not a Springsteen aficionado, would be more about exploration of the meaning, the search for whatever he's searching for in that song. That just revved up like a deuce, a Ford, gives it a completely different framing for me. Does that make sense, guys? So when it's cut loose, that's the escape. When it's revved up, that's the excitement, that's the journey to come. It does change it. It does change it for me. Let me know in the comments if you think that's different. And I wanted to know what the Calliope crash to the ground was. So Calliope is ostensibly, it's more common with fairground musical instruments. Basically, water, steam powered, blows through, creates a whistle, loud sound. I guess you could say it's the same as a train, except that's the steam blows through it and you get that sound. So that's what a calliope is. So that calliope crash to the ground, that's a metaphor for the crumbling. But there's more to that song, because when you look at songs like Black Hole Sun, and there's a Sabbath one, I think, which is just Stream of Consciousness. This looks like Stream of Consciousness, but it's not, because there's definitely a theme going on. Let's hear some more.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche under the runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche under the runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche under the runner. Some silicone sister with the manager, mister, told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you on, son, into something strong. Play the song with the funky break. And go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather chart, see if it was safe outside. And little early birdie came by in his curly-whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. She got down, but she never got tired. She's gonna make it to the night. She's gonna make it through the night.
Oh my God, this is just brilliant. I feel loath to stop it, and I'm going to pull it back. You know, the 70s was that progressive exploration of rock and the synthesizers and the guitars, and what I just heard there was just amazing. And it felt like there's three parallels. There's lots of different stories, there's different characters, and there's the use of the analogies and metaphors and the mixing of sounds and metaphors to talk about what I think is just essentially different people encountering different journeys in their life, and the idealism and the reality. You heard it there where he switches that vocal change into something where Mama told me not to look at the sun. But that's where all the fun is at. It's that teenage life meets adulthood, and adulthood's trying to tell teenage life. But you can just see yourself, and I'll pull this together at the end. And why listening to it now is completely different as I look back on my life from when I was I don't know, say 16, starting my adventures to where I am now, some 43 years later, 44 years later. This song fits that. Even though it's forcing me to look back and remember what I was thinking looking forward. Some of the foolishness and the childishness and the wide-eyed, bug-eyed participation of where the fun was at, not realising that's also where the danger was. This is doing that.
Some brimstone, baritone, anti-saxon, rolling stone, preacher from the east. Says teeth from the dictaphone, hit it in its funny bone, that's where they expect it at least. It's the newborn chaperone, standing in the corner, watching the young girls dance. And some fresh old moonstone was messing with his frozen zone, reminding him of romance. Wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night, blinded by the lights.
That blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce. I've already said they changed it. But that's a phrase that's repeated throughout the song. It isn't done that as much in the original. It just isn't. So it's what they've done it's a reinterpretation of a song they've admired and then put their spin on it and not necessarily covered it. They've taken a lot of it and just completely turned it upside down and given it a different kind of meaning without devaluing the original. So that's what I think. I'm probably just guessing here, guys. Or no, not guessing. It's actually what I think. So that change, that tempo change, that repeating of the line, the cut loose like a deuce, just changes the song itself to a song I really know, whereas the Springsteen one I don't know. I know it a little bit now because I've gone and listened to it. Yeah. Good Lord. This is progressive, right? But there's so much fun. And we'll wrap it up at the end. There's only about another minute to go. I'll tell you my overall, what it does for me, this song now, listening to it now, as opposed to when I was hearing it 76 to 79, the most probably.
Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the lights. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the lights. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, with a boulder on my shoulder, me that's kinda older and drip, douching around with his very pleasing sneezing and wheezing, the life he crashed to the ground. With a slingshot and line, they found a tender spot over in the sand. And some bloodshot, forget me not to Hades with it as you take the buckshot, turn up the band. Some sailing sister with my manager, mister. May I got a funny thing. She said, I'll turn you worse, I need to something strong. She got down, but she never got tight. She's gonna make it through the night.
Just a couple of key things. When they talk about the Calliope crashing at the ground, that's the end of it. And it's that, I think for me, it's the meeting of when you realise that life isn't just a fairground, it's not just a playground, but there's still an adventure to be had, but you're going to encounter these things along the way. And that progressive sound, they've extended the song much longer than Springsteen's original. And it's beautiful. But also equally, I could just see myself. I remember when I've talked about this in other songs, my brother drove across the Big Sur when we drove down from San Francisco down to LA. And then from LA to Vegas. And I could just see this song. It wasn't. I wish it was. I wish I could give you that story. I was playing this as the sun came up. I really wasn't. But I wish I could go back on that journey and say to my brother, get that song on as we go through the Big Sur, and we come down and through that. It would have been such a moment. Yeah. The song that creates moments you never had. What a great way to finish. If you like it, guys, join in. Tell me where to go next. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Till next time, take care, everybody.